know what I think about is doctors all the time. If I'm not emailing clients, I'm emailing doctors because I always need my clients' patient notes. And let's just say I've had the best experience with doctors lately because they're just always so efficient. But for this segment, we do have a doctor, a very young doctor actually. She doesn't look her age. She probably looks like she's still in school, if anything. If anything, I do, and I will let you be the judge of that, of course. But I'm going to welcome today Dr. Qainat Riya Adamjee. Welcome to the show.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me a bit about yourself. What do you do? I mean, I've already said you're a doctor, but tell me a bit about what it is you do as a doctor.
So I'm currently based in a hospital, which is it's a specialist hospital. I work in the sort of transplant medicine side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So typically we only see heart and lung patients, typically towards the end stage of things, and I'll be involved in sort of more medical assessments and then some procedures as well.
Wow. Okay, well, she's been very humble, so we're going to take it right to the beginning. Okay. So, obviously, I believe you're the first generation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, first generation of doctors. Now, did you always want to be a doctor when you were growing up? Or was it sort of like, you know what, Baba, you're going to be the doctor in our family? What was it like?
I've got to be honest, I didn't want to be a doctor when I was younger.
No!
I wasn't even interested in science. I was very passionate about English, and I thought I wanted to be a journalist.
Okay, I can see you being a journalist.
So for many years, that was my passion, to do journalism, and then at one point I floated the idea of going into sort of more politics, so I passionately joined the Politics Society at school. I was like the president of the Politics Society, debating. I was doing all of these things, and then getting into medicine was, we had those careers fairs, and I'm not very good with, my memory ironically is quite bad, and so I muddled up the schedule and I walked into the talk that I thought would be from one of the economics sort of, it was meant to be the, I think it was Morgan Stanley was doing a talk,
right.
Someone from there. And I thought, okay, I'm here for them economics talks. In walks a parent's dad who was a doctor. And I don't know what the man said. And I thought, this sounds interesting. And I had actually already submitted my A-level choices.
Oh, wow.
So I chosen to study English, economics, politics and history.
Right.
And
you decided for yourself what your future was going to be.
I swiveled, and because I was so indecisive, my mum spent the next almost 2 years convincing me to abandon it.
Oh, bless her. But then what happened? I mean, obviously you took those choices. Did you end up, doing the A-levels, or did you end up dropping them? What happened?
So I actually did end up doing the science A-levels, and chemistry was actually a subject I was very weak at. So
But you're still a doctor.
Yeah, and to give away my age, I did AS levels, and I did particularly badly my AS chemistry. So I didn't actually end up applying for medicine whilst I was in school. And then somehow I turned it around during my A-level year, and I don't know, I somehow went from getting a C in AS level to getting full marks in A-level.
Wow.
And I don't know how, you learn tips and tricks.
Yeah, of
course. But by that point it was already, my path was sort of steered towards, and I was off to university to study engineering.
So you've really had quite the journey. You've gone like from wanting to be a journalist to then studying engineering and then now a doctor. What?
It's I think with any life decisions, I think your career, I think one of the things my mum has said to me from a very young age is that she said that you will spend more time with your job than you spend with anything else. Not your future husband, not your family, not your friends. It's like a second marriage, your job.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
you have to like what you do.
I agree, definitely. Well, now that you are in the job that you do you think maybe you could have been an engineer, or maybe you could have been a journalist? I mean, obviously, it's stressful being a doctor, I'm sure. So are there times where you're just like, I just wish I could just be what I wanted to be at that time? Do you have those regrets ever?
I think, especially given the current climate with the uncertainty within the NHS and where we're going in the direction with healthcare, I think healthcare in the UK is a very big hot topic. Has been now actually, I think post-COVID, and then it's sort of ramping up. You do second guess. You have to on a regular basis revisit, why did I do this? And I have no regrets actually about the side paths I took, because truthfully, when I went into engineering, I was very shy, very quiet, hadn't really seen much of the world, and I left because I was one of 30 girls on a course of 300.
Wow.
So we had, and
that's crazy. That if you think of the numbers, that's wild.
Yes, 90% of my course was male, and I was studying up north, away from home, and I developed a very tough skin, and I think that gave me the confidence, to go for what I wanted to do, and also I think you need these sort of tough leadership skills and being sure of yourself to succeed, I think, in medicine as well. So you have transferable skills. I have no regrets. But I definitely am not an engineer.
No, fair enough. That's fine. I think, because you did touch upon obviously moving up north. Now, one thing I think I appreciate a lot more is having moved away from home, in the sense that I've learned a lot more about myself. I've learned more skills. Like, I can cook. If I stayed at home, I don't think I would learn how to cook. So do you think moving away from home is a negative thing sometimes? Because in our society, that's how it's looked at sometimes. How would you see it?
I've got to be honest, when I've spoken to parents and when you sort of explore what the fears are, I think I think you know your child best, and you've observed them from birth, and like their tendencies to have, like if they're over trusting or if they're sensible. You see these behaviours in them, and I think you as a parent, you have these fears about what could happen when they go into the world. But the reality is that we live in a very global society, and you see so many people nowadays are travelling abroad for work. It's funny, a lot of people's parents came here to the UK looking for better opportunities, and then their children are going off to other countries. And it's like, at one point you have to let them go. And I think...
Let them fly.
Yeah. And, I think university is a nice environment to do it in, because they're surrounded by other students. So you're not sending them off to work in a different city as an adult. You're sending them with some degree of sort of care, pastoral care still. I think it was a great experience. And I think those fears, I think, everyone has their personal reasons of why this. Of course. But you have to let your child go at some point.
Very respectful, very diplomatic. I love that answer. But moving on, of course, about experience. So I understand you've earned the prestigious KURF. Is it
It's a research fellowship.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say. So obviously, and then you secured several national and international publications for that. Now, tell me a bit about it, because I haven't got a clue. I'm no doctor. I don't understand any of it. I don't understand sciences.
So I think it's probably relevant to those who are now going to be incoming doctors, is I think the competition has become quite significant, and research has become, I think the NHS changed. We're very much a evidence-based practice. So with the research fellowship, it was about over 1,000 applicants, and then and there's a sort of topic of research. It might be one that's existing in place, or one that you think is useful, and you find people to collaborate or supervise with you, and then you apply to different institutes for the grant. And actually, it was during COVID lockdown that I first got my first research grant, and it was, funnily enough, I used to private tutor. So I was tutoring a lot, and that was my job. And then suddenly COVID happened and exams got cancelled.
Oh gosh.
So I was left without a job, and that's when I started applying for grants, because for funding of life, I guess. Of
course.
And I guess I didn't think I would get it.
But you did.
And it was, I was surprised. And it was great, because I was working with a charitable organisation and collaborating with King's College Hospital to do the publication. And I guess with what helped me get that research was, every summer I had free, I would always set in my mind that a week at least I would just approach different departments and consultants and everyone at senior level is involved in something, and if you show initiative, they will often find a role for you. And there's like, I remembered I had a very minor role collecting data, and this was when I was in my first year of medical school. Didn't think it would lead to anything. And for whatever reason, felt like my data was a significant contribution, and that led to me putting me as a co-author on an international paper. And I didn't think that just sitting in office for...
And how old were you at the time?
I was 20, yeah. And I
20, wow.
And I didn't think it would lead to anything, but it did. It's surprising what doors can open from the smallest thing. But unfortunately, I would say you need to get the first door, wedging open the first door is always the hardest one. And then every other door is a little bit easier.
I know, I think I appreciate what you're saying, because I've had that a bit recently this week.
Yeah.
Specifically this week, because this week's been a busy and a very exciting week. But yeah, definitely if you open the door, it'll open another door and then so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, fine. But what, I mean, obviously now that you are a doctor, what's the future hold for you now? What's your interest?
I would say, interesting today, I was talking with my family at the breakfast table. I think for me, I was reading about, because I think the healthcare system, we're trying to find where's the next steps in sort of management side of things. I know government has announced that they're planning to halve the actual official budget to managers within the NHS, but there is exciting things happening in terms of how we can deliver goals using new technologies or trying to make things more efficient. But I guess for me, I am currently exploring roles in sort of the med tech side of things.
And it's a sensible choice to make at this point now as well.
And it's something I'm considering is like, once you're sort of in a comfortable role within the NHS, you have more flexibility with your contract. So I'm exploring potentially reducing the active doctor hours, but still continuing my training, and then looking to go into med tech.
Fine, exciting times for you.
We'll see what happens.
Inshallah,
Yeah,
we'll see, and then obviously you'll come back on the show and tell us more about it. I feel like, again,
maybe in 5 years, let's see.
Maybe 5 years, and then maybe I might have more white hairs.
No, you don't have any. I have more, I'm sure.
I doubt it. You don't even look the age that we're not going to say your age, obviously, but yeah, you don't look that age. But if there's a few words that you could give the students watching or the young people watching, what would that be? Because I know obviously you've given advice through what you've told us.
Yes, yeah. I would say definitely don't think you have to know what you want to do, like don't have something set in stone. But if you do have something that you think you may be passionate about, you do have to have a certain hunger for it. This is a phrase that my dad used to use. It's this drive where nothing will stop you, but don't do it. Yeah, have this drive, but at the same time, have important people in your life who keep you grounded, I think is really important as well. So it's finding that balance, and keep approaching people, because I have always found that for every 10 people that say no, there's always one person who will relate to that story of starting from essentially the bottom and working way up, that will say, yes, I relate to that. I wish someone was there to help me then. Now I want to help you. And that mindset has opened so many doors for me. Amazing.
That was beautifully put. Thank you so much, Dr. Qainat, for being on the show. And obviously, inshallah, we'll see you on the show again in 5 years' time when you'll tell us what you're up to and everything else. And then I'll be hopefully again on the seat